Hello there, Michael Reese here. I hope you're having a great day. I know that I certainly am. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about today is what took place in church service last night. Now, last night I was in a church service with my grandfather. And my grandfather has been saved since 1983, so he's been saved here almost 30 years, and he's gone to a good church all this time, and he's seen lots of powerful services, and in these services God comes down and moves in the services. He really has been in a lot of them. He's really had many experiences of his own in his time of prayer, when he's speaking to God, when he's felt God touch him and help him. So for 30 years this has taken place, sometimes day after day, sometimes week after week, but he's had experiences with God. About 2 years ago, he came up and they found out he had cancer. He had cancer on his lung. And you know how cancer is. Cancer spreads all over your body. And he got the cancer taken out. And they asked him if he wanted to do chemo. And he said no. He said, I don't want to go through chemotherapy. I'm feeling like you got all of the cancer out of my body. I don't want to go through that process and take the chemo treatment. So he didn't do it. And he came up and he has to get a yearly examination to see if either the cancer came back or if the cancer spread anywhere. And he knew it was coming up. And he said that the devil can get in your mind. He gets in my mind. He can speak to us. I don't know how it all works, but he does. But he said that the devil had been telling him, your cancer has spread, your cancer's come back, you're going to have to go through that surgery again, you're going to die. Just every little pain that he would have, he would be thinking to himself, oh no, is that the cancer? But he said one night there at their church that God had come by and God was moving in the service. And a man named Brother Clyde got up behind the pulpit. He said, the water is troubled now. You remember the story about the angel that would come to the pool of Bethesda and he'd trouble the water. And once he troubled the water, you could get in there and you could get your healing. It only happened every so often, but Brother Clyde got up and said that the water, it's troubled. And Pawpaw said he held back, but finally he knew that it had been bothering him, and he went up there and he got prayed for. And this is the amazing thing. He said that God had done something, and God had touched him like he never had before. It was such a great experience when God touched him. It was such a great experience when God moved upon him that night that it was like nothing he had ever experienced before. And it was like nothing he had ever felt before. And then he went to the doctor. The doctor done his test. And he came out there after the tests were done, and he said, well, do you want the short story or do you want the long story? Pawpaw said, give me the short story. He said, everything looks okay. Everything's good. And he feels like if there was any cancer there, that night at that service when God troubled the water, that God healed him. But whether the cancer didn't even come back or whether it did come back, what I'm trying to get at is that he said that God touched him and that God done something for him like he'd never felt before. In these past 30 years that he's had all these experiences with God, God did something that he'd never felt before, like he'd never seen before, like he'd never experienced before. So what I want to tell you is there is no matter today where you're at in your life, but if you are serving God, God has new things and he has greater things for you in your future than what he's done in your past. So you think that you get saved and you think that you're just gonna cruise through life. Don't settle for that, because God has greater things. He has greater experiences for you, but you have to get closer to him and you have to be obedient to him. That's what my message is to you today, is that God has greater things. It doesn't matter how long you've been saved. If you're not saved, get saved. Believe on the Lord Jesus Christ and start these experiences so that you can feel a greater touch tomorrow than what you felt today. God's trying to move in 2013. So my advice to you is what I'm doing. It's just let him move. Let him move on you. I hope this has been an encouragement to you, and I hope you have a great day.